funding that we provide to residents of Berkeley Heights to participate in our programs. All right, so it's important to note that because really our mission comes down to one simple thing. We do not turn anybody away based on the inability to pay. Again, to me, the why is fostering a sense of community. We're providing a safe place for our seniors to maintain a wellness and connect socially. I can't claim ownership for this, but anecdotally, I do believe we are the place for seniors to gather on a daily basis. For the youth, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, high school students, teens, we are well known as a place to come together and socialize and stay healthy, and most importantly, stay off the streets and get in trouble. I have several stories that I could share with you, but our mission really goes well beyond the four walls over there at Springfield or what we're doing in the school. We were very visible during Hurricane Sandy. We have story after story of helping people in town. We recently helped a homeless man in Berkeley Heights for the last 15 months. We fed him, we showered him, we clothed him, we took care of him for 15 months. Nobody really hears those stories, but we're here, and we won't turn anybody away. So, as is well documented, for the past 6 years, we have been trying in vain to find a new facility. It's no secret that our current building, we've outgrown. It's become rather old. It has insufficient parking, and our members deserve better. This community deserves better. Add to that the financial instability of paying a lease that has unfortunately escalated beyond our means over the years. So we've been committed. We've asked the community has told us back. They want a new Y. We envision a 36,000 square foot facility that will serve as a cornerstone for the community where they can nurture the potential of youth, motivate healthy living, and inspire a sense of social responsibility among citizens of the community. This facility will include a full-size gymnasium to run basketball, soccer, tennis, leagues, additional activities. We will have significant opportunity to drastically expand all of our programs that we can't offer today in our current facility. We'll provide a safe, convenient local space for all Berkeley Heights residents. A state-of-the-art wellness center and track, indoor track, an intergenerational center that will connect all members of the township together regardless of age or ability, senior activities, group exercise, multi-purpose rooms, studios, community meeting rooms, locker rooms, child watch, a teaching kitchen, and a 6,000 square foot child care facility. Just as important, we're going to employ over 150 people. Makes us one of the larger nonprofit employers in town, outside of medical perhaps. And most of those 150 are local, and I venture to say half of those 150 are under the age of 18. It's their first job, many of them working for the Y. There's no doubt that a new facility will enhance the cachet of any community, including Berkeley Heights. Last March, the Berkeley Heights Community Pool, I'm going to call it our BHCP going forward, approached Y for help in managing their facility. We accepted their offer and led their operation and provided support well beyond our original agreement. While BHCP showed a rare surplus in 2016, this was only due to the Y taking a loss on the agreement, understanding that it was in the best interest of the community to keep the pool from failing. You see, BHCP has no capital reserve fund, has a significant amount of deferred capital maintenance, and has outlived its original life expectancy of 50 years. This pool was built in 1964, and this Berkeley Heights Community Pool, which is a volunteer-run organization, can no longer solely manage the pool due to a lack of financial and volunteer resources. BHCP asked us to manage the full operations of the pool going forward. Me and my volunteers sitting behind me have been studying this issue since last June. We see they have a pool membership of about 450 membership units and over 1,200 members. the affordable membership rate, convenient access, and Berkeley Heights-like community feel make this a valued organization in the township. Based on what we saw last summer, I believe in BHCP and are confident that with the right investments and management oversight, we can run a pool that will have impact. A similar transformation occurred at the Summer Community Pool, and we believe that we can start making strides toward improving BHCP for the 2017 season. If BHCP does not open this summer, these members will be forced to join other pools, including neighboring towns in New Providence and Summit, and yes, we do have another private pool in town, but it will risk weakening our community members' confidence in all of Berkeley Heights leadership, including the Y. What will we do with the Y if the pool closes? We are already over 2 months behind in a membership drive, and those 1,200 members currently are waiting for an answer. The Y nationally and locally is the foremost expert in aquatic safety, instruction, and competition. Collectively, we teach more children than adults to swim than anybody else. We coach more competitive swimmers, and we operate more indoor and outdoor pools than any other organization in America. We know what we're doing when it comes to running aquatic facilities. We will be honored to assume full control of the operations of BHCP, and we will commit $225,000 to upgrade the immediate capital needs that is needed to open this pool by Memorial Day. We also assume a $113,000 bank loan debt that the current BHCP has. In addition, we will look to rebuild the pool and adjoining pool house to reflect a modern, safe, high-quality experience which Berkeley Heights deserves, can afford, and take pride in. There is precedence for this. There are currently at least 75 aquatic municipal and Y partnerships across the U.S. in which the Y's expertise in aquatics is being recognized and utilized successfully and bring great benefit to the communities. You see, there's no private organization going around or developers going around, and if there are, I would love to know, looking to open outdoor pools. Outdoor pools, by their very nature, especially in the Northeast, do not generally make a good for-profit model. This is a pool that's open for maybe 2.5 months a year, and is run to be affordable and access to all the community. Timing is critical in this decision. Interest in summer memberships, as I said, is already over 2 months, and without a management agreement either between BHCP and the Y or the municipal township which owns this property, there is just a risk for loss of revenue and community angst. The current lease for this locust property has been in existence since 1964. From what I've been able to see through the paperwork, it's been renewed twice. It's always had a payment term of $1 a year, and the current lease will expire in April of 2018. It's important to note that generally, the lease stipulation does allow for the BHCP to have subcontractors operate the pool in its absence, should that be approved by the township. The Y's current lease, our lease on Springfield Avenue, will expire in August of 2018. And we have not determined if we will renew the lease. Our landlord has not determined if we will have that option to begin with. We have renewed 3 times in the past 5 years during our efforts to look for another property. After 4 failed site plans, including 2 other township-owned properties, we believe the locust property offers the best solution. Again, the solution is for us to operate the outdoor pool, upgrade it, revolutionize it, and build a new state-of-the-art Y facility on this property. Should this solution not materialize, we will be forced to evaluate if it is financially viable for the Y to remain in Berkeley Heights. Between the pool and the new facility, we expect to invest more than $10 million in Berkeley Heights. This new Y facility on Locust would possibly incur an even larger monthly mortgage than our current lease, over 25% more. So you may ask, well, why are you doing that? It certainly will be more challenging for us to fund our mission. We're going to try it because studies have shown, and our talks with the great residents of Berkeley Heights have shown that they want us to stay and they will support us. And obviously with a larger building, it will give us significant more opportunity to expand our program and impact, which is what we are here to do. We have spent over $275,000 in due diligence costs to date on township-owned properties such as Hamilton Avenue, Snyder Avenue, and now Locust Avenue. Without a doubt, we feel Locust Avenue is our best option. All of this information that we spent on due diligence, including 3 phase 1 studies, has been shared with the township and could save the township significant cost on future projects should you decide to move forward on those sites. So we're here on January 10th with somewhat of a quandary. We have a potential Berkeley Heights Community Pool membership and residents and future users of the pool hopefully know whether or not their pool is going to open. And we're willing and ready to sign up for a membership. We have a Y organization, the Summit Area Y, that is committed strategically and operationally to move forward and needs to have an answer whether this Locust Avenue site has any true meaning. After 6 years, quite frankly, it's time for us to decide which direction we go once and for all. We want to continue to allow BHCP to operate uninterrupted and allow our operation the right to implement our strategic and operational steps to sustain a successful presence in Berkeley Heights. And that means going through the entire building process, kind of a snapshot of what you went through tonight, undertaking a capital campaign and asking the community to support us in that way, and going through all the right steps so that we can build a building that we all can be proud of. And most importantly, we can open our pool up this summer and know that we're running a safe, high-quality pool. Again, there's many municipal partnerships that have precedence even here in New Jersey. South Amboy municipal leaders bonded a new facility and have a management agreement with the local Y there. Ys are often called upon to provide community benefits programming for aquatics, recreation, teens, seniors, and families. These Y programs have been proven to create significant cost savings for municipalities. Quite simply, we're a large organization, we're a national organization, and yes, we're a local organization here, but our expertise and our efficiencies of scale makes it cheaper for us to run a higher quality operation than almost anyone else. We are confident, and I appreciate all of you on a personal note, your strong support for the YMCA over the years, and we want to keep that partnership with Berkeley Heights Township and strengthen the bond with the community. Myself, and again, I have some volunteers as well as Tiffany Escott, my executive director, will be happy to answer any questions.
Before we open it up to everyone up here, just by way of historical reference here, I know you and I have discussed the Y's issues and concerns and desires to stay here, and we thought we were close once or twice, but obviously no cigar. Okay. You intend to build a 36,000 square foot facility, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And would you be willing to enter into some kind of agreement with the township as part of any lease, land lease agreement, whatever we come into here, to enable the town to utilize gymnasium space, let's say, for a specific period of time during the school year or calendar year? Would you be willing to do that?
Well, it would be at some type of cost, or a give-take relationship?
Give-take
Yes.
relationship
Yeah.
as part of a negotiation. In other words, obviously, we're sitting here saying, okay, you know, you've got an interest here, all right? Your interest is you want to get a new facility. You have the capacity, because of what the Y does, to bootstrap with getting involved with the pool.
Correct.
Okay, and in doing so, you are providing to the township a service, perhaps on two different levels. One is the Y becomes a bigger, more effective, more efficient building, and from a service standpoint. But you are addressing a need for potentially, I think you said 1,200 members
Of the pool.
Of the pool. Okay. As far as you understand the circumstance with the pool, if you do not, meaning you, the YMCA, do not undertake the effort that you described, will the pool not open this year? Is that your understanding?
It's my understanding that that could very well be the case.
Okay. All right. So, in a sense, you are seeking to provide the township with not only what the Y has to offer, but to provide the township, and I use the word save, a facility which has been in town for over 50 years.
Well, yeah, I don't want to make us out a hero in any stretch. We think it's an honor.
It's not about a hero. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, see, I'm trying to look at it from this township standpoint, okay?
We were approached by the leadership last spring because they recognized we have a mission that's much in alignment with them. And they felt that we could synchronize our operations with them eventually. Unfortunately, deeper look of what it takes to run a true outdoor pool requires a lot of work and a lot of expertise. And none of us want to see the tragedies that could happen with an outdoor pool. And that's our first and foremost priority. So I congratulate BHCP. They've done an amazing job, and they have some tremendous volunteers. But yes, we look at it, and they agree that we are probably the last opportunity for that pool to stay open this summer.
What kind of agreement do you foresee with the town?
I foresee what we're looking for in the next month is a lease agreement that we can survive with financially. I think temporarily, we need to understand that we cannot do one or the other on this property.
Meaning
I don't know what that means.
We cannot do just the pool, or we cannot do just the building. I mean, we could hypothetically, but I don't think we would like to. We believe the best vision for success includes a new building with eventually a new pool, outdoor pool.
So what happens, you need to do a capital campaign, you need to raise $10 million. We have a pool that is either going to stay open or not. How do you figure out the timing? How's the timing going to work?
Yeah, so, by the way, it'd be wonderful if I could raise $10 million in Berkeley Heights. Unfortunately, we've already done a feasibility study for this community, and we do have confidence we can raise plus or minus $2 million. I know, and that will be quite a challenge, but I'm up for it, and so are my volunteers. We would take a year to raise that money and go through the process of architects and engineering and present the building. In a best case scenario, we know, 12 to 15 months. Again, in a best case scenario, it's a very simple building. It's not complicated. Build a building in 12 months. So 2.5 years is your answer from today.
Okay, but you're going to do, so there's going to be a capital campaign with some amount of money.
We're going to fund $8 million. We're going to take an $8 million loan to get us started and get 80% of the building paid for. We're hoping the public will come through with $3 million.
But, okay, so that's the long-term plan. But the lease today would say what? What do you need the lease today? That it's a 50-year lease? That it's, what terms are you looking for?
I think 50 years would be fair. I mean, when you make that type of investment of a $10 million building, I certainly wouldn't want to envision having to give that up in 20 years.
Right.
50 would be appropriate.
To get to the point where, first of all, we'd love the Y to stay. We would obviously have to negotiate the terms of this lease. If it works out and we'd love you to stay and to keep the pool open is a great idea, but we need to know what you're looking for. So it's a 50-year lease or so. Is there a term sheet anywhere?
I think the best way that I can explain the way what we're looking for is the dollars I spoke of before, of $225,000 to invest immediately to open this pool safely. I mean, we're talking about equipment that hadn't been replaced in 25 years, that should have been replaced 10 years ago. $113,000 to pay off the loan, which is going to be required with basically a transfer of ownership of BHCP to the pool. And then phase 2 of this building is building a new pool, almost immediately after, and that's $900,000. So we're talking about $1.23 million, $1.25 million that we are going to invest, as the mayor said, to save the pool. That needs to be factored in to any lease discussion. If I turn that out over 50 years, that's nearly $63,000 a year that we're paying, that we're going to have to pay back. So I already look at us as taking a significant financial risk, and I'm not looking to take any more financial burden through the township.
So, okay, so you're looking, you invest that, we give you a 50-year lease for $1. That's your proposal? Is that?
That's what the current lease is, yes.
Do you think, or have you built into your model the idea of paying some level of rent, even if it's a fixed amount of rent?
I have
in
not.
perpetuity?
I have not.
Do you know, I know we had come in recently, a wetlands survey that you're doing on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the survey, do you know what the upland acreage is?
Yeah, so I believe the official acreage of the property is 17.3 acres,
Right.
and the usable space is plus or minus 3.9 or 4 acres. And you have, I'm going to say this anecdotally, had that in a parking lot.
Right. You've got
So you're talking 2 acres of something we could do something with. And again, if you want to slice it one more time, currently 1 acre is a pool. So there's not much.
Except you got a lot of parking.
Finally.
Okay, does anybody have any thoughts or comments right now? So essentially, Paul, you have given us the background. So what you need from us in short order
Yes.
is a response to your proposal, which currently is, as you've set forth. Is there anything else that you would like to reference with respect to the proposal that we should know about, other than what you've said? Does anybody else on your team want to comment to that?
Could I have my chair of the task force come up and address that?
Absolutely.
So good evening, my name is Tom Hall. I'm on the board of trustees of the Y, and actually a lifelong Y kid as well. My first job was at the Y after I stopped delivering newspapers. I think the thing we want to try to make sure that is fully understood is that we're a nonprofit. Everything we do goes back into the communities, and Paul cited $250,000 that we could identify directly back into Berkeley Heights. If you look at the Summit area YMCA more broadly, that number is much larger, and we don't dissect it all by town in that way. We don't think of our membership that way. In fact, when you look at our membership, even the Berkeley Heights facility itself draws on people who aren't necessarily residents of the town, and vice versa, and same with Summit. But we are a nonprofit. We are going through a bunch of different things as a board of trustees now as we think about the vision for Y going forward. And we've been going after this for a long time. Several of us, and as we're here, have been working really hard to try to find a solution for Berkeley Heights for a long time because we want to stay here. But by the same token, it's we're sort of running out of time in the context of the existing facility that we're in. So it's difficult to come in and say, hey, in short order, we need to have some numbers. But we actually in short order need to have some numbers to be able to move forward and get the planning done. What makes it even more critical is the town pool. In some ways, if the town pool, if we were talking about a site where there wasn't a town pool, there'd be a little bit less of a burning platform, but you still have the lease on Springfield Avenue, which is problematic. Our assumption, all discussions we've had with the town pool and with that board as well, is that they want to open. They want to have the facility keep going. I can't speak for where you all are on that. Underlying everything Paul said is the basic assumption that we want the town pool to continue in operation. That's something that's of value to the town. When we think about the value that the Y is giving into the town, we're not looking to build the town a gym. We're looking to build a gym for the Y, and if it can be used, it makes sense to be used for the town, that makes sense. We do it today with the Governor Livingston High School, for example. We do make it available for them, but we don't want that to get in the way of the programming that the Y is offering, which I trust that you understand as well. So we are very, very, very committed to Berkeley Heights. The Board of Trustees more broadly has been very interested, and it's actually a top priority that has been established for Paul, I think, as we think about it. I think that's actually one of them, to think about getting to a long-term solution here. And just, I want you to know that you have the full Board of Trustees of the YMCA trying to get to a solution as quickly as we can. Every dollar we pay in rent above anything takes away from programming that we do. We don't make money. That's not what we do. That's not how we work. And we know that town pools don't make money. That's not how they operate. I think the Berkeley Heights Community Pool is a great example. They are a nonprofit. I think they're organized that way, and they've been losing money for many years, and in fact have run up this big capital deficit. So the way that we've thought about it, and I'm being a little bit repetitive of what Paul said, is, we think of coming in and finding a way to save the Y facility itself, finding a way to save or maintain the community pool, and invest very, very significantly in the town to have a real long-term, more permanent presence than what we have today, because right now we're sort of temporary in a rented facility on Springfield Avenue.
In light of what Mr. Frazier referenced, let's assume, I think we've got all the information.
Can I even go ask a few more questions?
Yeah.
Because it sounds to me like there's two different things. You're looking for a 50-year lease. But are you not saying, you don't need that lease today? You would honestly want that lease to start in, let's say, like 18 months after you had your capital campaign or whatever. Are you not saying you want a lease to start like in T plus 15 months? But you need that agreement period to get it 15 months so that you can have an agreement with the pool to step in and run the pool until their lease runs out.
Yeah, I think
Is that what we're talking about?
we're some.
Because what if, are you asking to dissolve the lease and deal with that?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I actually, Mayor, I was going to ask if I could ask
Yeah,
two
because
questions.
I think we got to separate these two. What are we asking for here?
Because currently the pool has a lease for one more year.
Right.
So if they enter into an agreement with the pool, the association, the association has that right directly.
Right.
If we are stepping in, because they still have operation of the pool for the 2017.
Right.
If we step in as the township, because they're a separate legal
Right,
entity,
right.
then we have to cancel that lease with them and then enter it into with the Y for the operation of the pool for 2017. So that portion of the lease would have to be in effect right away, unless they are entering into another agreement with the association until the lease ends, which is, I think it
But I
ends
think
in
it sounds like what you need is like an
2017.
MOU, like an MOU or something from us that says when the lease expires with the pool, we have an agreement to enter into a lease with the town.
That's what
Correct?
we'd have to figure out what they want.
Yeah, so
Is that-
the legal side of it, and Greg, you can correct me if I get this wrong, what we're looking for is certainty as to term and rate. The legal method by which we get there, we are somewhat agnostic to. Within that certainty, we would like to have a way for the pool to operate this summer, and we would like to know what the long term is. Said a little bit differently, we're not looking to operate the pool this summer, and then this fall find out that we have a lease rate that we can't afford.
Exactly, you're not looking to operate unless there's a long-term commitment.
Correct.
We got to figure out the legalities of it.
And Mayor, if I may just follow up, so just to what was presented, so when talking about 225,000 towards the pool immediately, would that be this year or would that be the following year? This year. That would be for 2017.
Can I ask one more question? So what, if we know, let's just put that another, if we know that we technically a year from now, let's say we do the capital campaign, you do the capital campaign and put a new pool in, why do we have to spend the 200? Can't we get by with what's there for one more season, or do you have to?
Well, to be honest,
some decisions, maybe we could, but the pool's leaking. So I'd rather not waste town water or whoever's water we're paying for anymore, that's one thing. And malfunction equipment, which is about 60% of that cost, has to be replaced no matter what, because the last thing we want is on a 95-degree day, us to have to shut down because the chlorine's not working and or the water pump's not working. I know you're familiar in the facility, those are areas that you just can't fix until July.
What is your outside date on which you think you can go to the pool members and indicate that, yes, you are remaining involved and you will open? What's the outside date? I guess it's a membership.
We say outside the latest date,
Yeah, as you sit here on January 10th.
March 1st.
And Mayor, follow up with one of the questions. I know you said that ultimately you'd be building a new pool location. Is it the intention of the Y that this new pool would be the Y pool being offered as a program to the municipality or administrator? Or is this going to continue to be the community pool run by the Y and it just happens to be next door to the Y?
Yeah, so, great question, I'm sorry I didn't address it. So it still stays the Berkeley Heights Community Pool, we believe in keeping that identity. More so because, quite frankly, that's what a generation of Berkeley Heights relate that to. And we certainly plan on keeping the same rates. We're going to keep the same rates this summer if we want to run it. We want to make it affordable to everybody. So, and with that note, it's a well-known fact across the town. We've talked to many of the residents. Most of them think it is a town pool already. That's how well it's been run, perhaps, or not run, that they think the town is running it. The reality is the town has never run it, to my knowledge, right? Since 1964.
That's correct.
So,
I used to be a lifeguard at that pool.
So,
Going back 50 years ago.
the one thing I'd add, and Paul, you correct me if I'm wrong, I think that we would want to have the flexibility to enable people who are members of the Y to also join the community pool. I believe the current lease for the community pool is restricted as to town residents. I believe there are some restrictions in there. We need to talk about how we manage that. I don't think we're envisioning having it be part of the Y membership. It's not. It won't be a Y pool. It'll be a community pool.
So that's
It would be a summer-only pool membership, separate from a Y membership.
Correct.
That you would have. Or you could have a Y membership that included a pool membership.
Well, we need to, give a month, we need to understand all those issues, and, you fully operated, the township has no liability, that kind of thing. We're fully defended, indemnified against whatever happens there. So that kind of stuff is important to us. So
Yeah,
do we have anything like this, those types of deal terms and understanding, anything yet?
Well, you said, Paul, that you guys are involved in other
Yeah, but
towns.
the existing lease is yeah, I know that does, but it's a 1960, I've read it, it's like 2 or 3 page.
So there was
It's very general, but that wouldn't cover, you wouldn't want it for your building, and it doesn't serve our needs either, for a longer term undertaking like this.
Well,
There was a very thoroughly negotiated a few years ago.
we had a lease 3 years ago that we had negotiated, but it doesn't have a pool.
Right.
I would argue we could take that lease and work off it to just work on it and modify for the pool. Because this has been through the Y and the town.
Yes,
But
but
that was
I
a
actually was the one that drafted that back when it was,
And that was-
I think that was the Hamilton
Hamilton
Ave
Avenue.
property. And what we did was we did an option agreement, and the lease agreement was attached to the option agreement. So it gave the YMCA opportunity to do their due diligence, and if they exercise option, that attached lease agreement with all its terms would then come into effect. That's something we probably, if it's what the township wants to do, we could do something similar to that here, where it's the option agreement until the current lease expires for the pool, allows them to do their financing and due diligence, and then at some time certain thereafter, the only difference would then be there would actually be some payment ahead of time with the amount that the YMCA would be putting into the pool for 2017.
But wouldn't that be between them and the pool, not us? That would all
Not if
be.
we take,
Not if we
step in their shoes.
I mean, we can, you can,
Yeah.
it sounds like the Berkeley Heights Community Pool would readily abandon We can get that part figured out. It's just what instrument you put in.
Let me suggest this, okay? I don't want to speak for everyone, but if I took a quick straw poll here, everyone is certainly in favor of trying to get this thing done, okay? Let me make this question. Mr. Sordillo has a history with this because of drafting the prior lease, correct, Joe?
Yes.
Is there any individuals that you would ask to represent you all, or, in dealing with Joe Sordillo, so that we don't have we only have one voice and one voice?
Yeah, we'll have somebody.
Okay?
I'll let you know.
So
Let him know.
let's get that started, and let's see what we can do. Joe will report to us, and we understand your time constraints, and we will have to discuss that, obviously. Okay? I mean, there's other issues we need to discuss with it, but...
And Mayor, this is still listed as executive session, so we can still.
Yes, we still can.
And discuss it.
But I mean, I'm sensitive to your time issue, okay? And I think March 1st, you're being, I think you're being generous, okay?
Well,
I'd like to get back to you before then.
To correct you, Mr. Mayor, it's 30 days. March 1st, you asked me when the members of the pool would need to know. My volunteers are slated for mid-February to be meeting like
Okay.
this is September.
That makes sense then. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Are we? Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have a motion to re-adjourn into the
Yes.
executive session.
Do we need
Of
to,
course, the resolution is already adopted to move into executive. I think we just make a motion to move into executive pursuant to that resolution.
yeah, I made a statement outside of that and said the Y would be off because we were hearing this. I think
We'll make
the Y is,
the motion to move
I
back.
move that we go back into exec session and include the Y to discuss on our side what the business and liability